Hey YouTube, coming at you with my first little holiday cup team. It is a double electric team with double on the front. I went 5-0 with this team. Actually, I started 6-1, and then I lost my last two because it was like, oh, I got core broken with a couple Pokemon. So I'm gonna tell you how to make this team better, and then yeah, and then how to make this team better, and I'll go for it. So obviously, if you see where I am now, I'm in my parents' basement on my microphone here, so it's gonna be a little rough for the next couple days here just with these videos, but I wanted to pump out some new videos on the holiday cup. So I hope your Christmas went well. But let's go over a couple of these things on the team before we actually get into the battles here. The first one being that I know Pika Libres are not everyone has them because they're generally for Legends. There were 2 seasons where you had the option to get a Pika Libre, and you're actually going to see in a short this afternoon just because you have a Pika Libre doesn't mean that you're good. You're a good player. I went up against someone who had a Pika Libre, who threw um, who threw in my next match. I used Stunfisk, which was half ground, and the opponent also threw Rock Slide in it. Right, so I'm aware that not everyone has Pika Libre. You may get it because there was 2 seasons where you basically got free Pika Libres. There's two like interlude seasons where you basically had options to get. So hopefully you have it. If not, could you use other Pokemon? Yes and no. The problem with Pika Libre is why it's so strong is this Flying Press in the Little Cup one shots everything. And I mentioned that if you haven't played Little Cup before, that most neutral moves do like 50%. So every like body slam you see from double here, um, or if you're using like Aerial Ace on Ducklet, it does like 50%. Flying Press doesn't do 50%. It does like 150%. It is such a hard hitting move. So it really makes people Pika Libre very safe as a safe swap on this team. Chinchou, I had not used Chinchou since the Spark buff nerf. It's a buff nerf, right? So having used it, I actually used it quite differently than I normally would. Normally you would use it just one as a wall to Ducklet, but two, you would probably like Spark and Thunderbolt with Bubble Beam as a bait. Because Spark now takes longer to charge but is way harder hitting, uh, I actually found that the majority of the matchups, I was just going Spark, Bubble Beam, basically lowering my opponent's attack and just sparking a ton because it does a lot of damage now. And then Double just is generally safe on the lead. Even in bad matchups, which you're going to see a couple of the Corebreakers, like you can just kind of hang in with them. So let's look at some battles here, see how the team does. So Litleo, this is a good lead because Litleo is half normal. They come into Pikachu, so I am staying in here. Sorry, here comes the Flying Press ready. I'm staying in because one, I was just too slow on the exit here. But two, like these body sims are going to come really quick. And the problem with Pika Libre is, I did not cover why Pika Libre. So, okay, there's a lot going on here. Two things with Pika Libre and why this was a terrible play. One is, I already mentioned why this was, let's just start why this was a terrible play. Because I already said Flying Press does like 150%, so you're going to see this Flying Press just one-shot me because I'm behind on energy. So that was dumb. The other thing with Pika Libre is it is very, very glassy compared to other Pokemon in this meta. It just seems to be like, there's like everything's kind of glassy, but like Pika Libre is very, very glassy. So no, I remember how I said that double body slams do like 50% of most things. Not Pika Libre, not with the double kick body slam counters. It will basically take it out, which is why they were shielding. Um, but I basically came in here behind on energy and even shields, which is a terrible, terrible situation to get yourself into. So they're going to shield and they're going to easily take me down here. So not the smartest play. I'm still okay in the fact that double has energy. Chinchou and double will both deal with Litleo if that comes back in. So I'm not too worried about Litleo. And so we'll just see what's in the back here. And it is an Altaria. So I am running Wild Charge on this. You don't need to run Wild Charge. You can run Payback. I feel like for 90% of the Pokemon, you're probably doing Body Slam anyways. I just found that um, getting to Payback is a little tougher when you're in a little cup. Um, but now you're seeing right here, like, look at those sparks add up. And the Bubble Beam, super effective, even though this Bubble Beam is a terrible move, super effective enough to lower their attack to live that and take this out, right? So Chinchou, every matchup I used it, it was kind of just like, oh, okay, this thing is kind of interesting in that you can just like spark and bubble beam a ton of stuff. So great lead here. They are double weak to fighting and just staying in. So I'm like, I'll just farm. Oh yeah, I did label this one easy, and this is easy because they are triple weak to fighting. They have a Vigoroth in the back. If you're going to be triple weak to fighting, it's not a terrible strategy because there's not a ton of just like fast move counter users or double kick users. There's like double Vigoroth. I don't even know if there's another one. And unfortunately, holding this microphone, I do not have the luxury of kind of going off script PV poke, um, looking at a bunch like I normally do. But I don't think there's a ton of fighters in this, like counter move, fighting, fast move Pokemon. So triple normal strategy or triple weak to fighting is not a bad idea. It's not terrible. And actually, you're going to see in my next matchup, I do exact that. I am actually double weak to fighter, but it's not a huge issue. Um, but what you are seeing here is just like Chinchou with the sparks, bubble beam. It's just like it's definitely gonna be my header. Cause I'm like, this thing actually really surprised me how strong this is. I think Pika Libre just like gives you that versatility with flying press. But Chinchou, yeah, not bad. So I come in here and Stunfisk. So um, this is why Pika Libre is probably better because with the flying presses and Thundershock being charging so fast, um, I'll probably get to two flying presses and Mudbomb probably would take me out from there. As opposed to lowering the attack here, it won't take me out and I'll get to a second move. So I think Pika Libre, if you're going to use this team, like, is probably your safe option. They, um, I did lower their attack twice. Like, Pika Libre has to be my sweep right now, is my only sort of win condition here. So I'm basically just going to let this go down, come out with some energy. Hope I can, did I throw a blind here? I got two body slams. Um, yeah. Oh no, I'm baiting him. This is a legit bait because my thought process was I need to grab two shields here to have any chance because I need to like thunder punch this down and I'm gonna need two shields here and these embers are going to add up pretty quickly. So I did that was a conscious bait because I had so much energy. Unfortunately, two things happen here. One, they make a great catch, but two, they lower my attack already once, and you're going to see they lower my attack again. So I still have shield advantage, able to, because I'm ahead on energy, take this out. But what you're going to see is they're going to get to a second move, lower my attack again, and two lowered attacks is going to cost me this matchup. So the two lowered attacks plus the catch there definitely cost me this matchup here. So smart on their part. Maybe I should have like what I probably should have done is farmed up even more on the Pika Libre, let them hit me with a flying press and like shield that, and then come out with take them out and then come out with like energy so I could thunder punch before they lower my attack again. I think that was probably my win condition, but in this matchup, like I said, Pika Libre strong, hits like a truck, but super glassy. Like look how much these non-stab double kicks are doing, and they come in Altaria. I got Chinchou because I was like, I have two electrics. So if they're gonna throw a move, they're gonna have to throw a Dazzling Gleam. I don't think that's totally true, just because everything's so glassy in this league. The Sky Attack is resisted, but we're all babies, right? We're all 500 CP Pokemon, so I don't even know if they would have been able to take me out. But anyways, I come in here now. Look at how much those Dragon Breaths are doing, right? I need to farm up a bit, but I can't farm up too much because it's just a ton of damage adding up there. Take that out. Out comes the Pika Libre. Take this out. And what is in the back? I'm guessing it's like an ABB flyer type sort of situation here. Um, no, it is a Litleo. Can I get to the move? I cannot get to the move. But I already am at 2+ body slams here. So I'm able just to go back to back to take this out. And holy smokes. Okay. I take back what I said about body slam doing 50%. Body slam is doing way more than 50%. Um, you know what? Yeah, I'm wrong with that. It's usually the baby cups. Like this is a baby cup to a certain extent. This is a little cup in the fact that it's 500 CP, but in the little cups that are baby only Pokemon, like first evolution, um, when you have like Vulpix and Chikorita and stuff like that, those are the moves that do 50% against each other. When you have an evolved Pokemon, they do more than 50% because their attack is boosted because they have higher like attack stats, higher base attack stats when you're evolved. So these moves are doing more than 50%, but um, you won't get to that as high of a level. Like double will be like, I don't even know what level it is, but it's gonna be like 10 to 15 compared to like some of these ducklets, which will get to like 30. So that's the difference. Um, and I'll timestamp that just to clarify that. Gligar, tough. And the fact that it's resisting all my fast moves here. I let it go to dig, and then I come Pika Libre thinking like, I'm gonna have to shield one dig here. I'm aware of that. But again, Pika Libre with energy advantage is going to be a menace for my opponents here. So out comes the Litwik. I'm at 2 Thunder Punches. Let's see if I go back to back here, or if I go 1 and then I go straight into the Spark Chinchou. So they let it go, so I'm not surprised if I go Spark Chinchou. Sand Slash comes in, and again, I'm not even pretending I'm going to go to Thunderbolt. The Spark damage has been more than sufficient in the majority of these matchups, right? So if I want to, I can shield this up and get another Bubble Beam off so that I don't take a lot of energy, like a lot of damage. I think I let these go because I think I want to maybe hold Pika Libre shield because it's just so glassy. So I get the second Bubble Beam off. These sparks are still adding up, so they need to throw here, or else I'm going to take them out because they're resisted. Let's see what I do here. I shield because I can spark and Bubble Beam, right? And this will give me the last shield, and then I can snipe with Pika Libre, I think, because I think I have another one loaded. Yep. So good jumping around there. But yeah, Chinchou, just spark Bubble Beam. Like I think I threw Thunderbolt like once or twice. I really did not need it the majority of the time. The majority of the time I was fine just going Spark Bubble Beam. A little slow on the swap here. My first thought was like, let's just wild charge and grab a shield, but then I was like, I'm too slow. But I will take this down a bunch, have a bunch of energy, still have alignment. They have a water in the front. I have they have water ice in the front, so I can hit with a flying press as opposed to just having to throw the thunder punch. So water ice comes in, which is a very risky play in the meta that is filled by both counter users and electric, I think. There's one flying press. Here comes a second flying press. Smart for them to actually just throw this, but now I can get ahead on Chinchou, or I can just come back and double. And I'm going to come Chinchou because they are wondering Water Gun, so that is just smart. Look at those sparks, right? This is Body Slam. I could shield. Yeah, because I'm thinking they may just like stay in here and then I can just switch lock them. Yeah, you gotta, if you're going to do this, you cannot, well, that's probably why they did it, because they are weak to Chinchou in the back as well. So yeah, I do end up thunderbolting here, but as you're going to see with these sparks, like look how much those sparks do. I don't need to do this. Like I'm going to win with double anyways, but holy smokes. Um, just how much those sparks add up there. It's crazy. So double into Swinub. This is a good lead because they're weak to counter. Swinub is one of the Pokemon I'm using tomorrow. Chinchou, I'm going to chip because my thought process was I can chip with this and then probably just come and spark, and if they let that go, just like spark it down. They end up shielding. So now it's a bait game. Are they going to Bubble Beam me or are they going to Thunderbolt me? They do Thunderbolt me. So now it's kind of get to this move. I can, but now they have the option to flip switch if they want down 2 shields, and that is what they do. But I've got to imagine that Pika Libre with the 2 shield advantage is just going to wipe the floor with anything. So at this point, I think I come in double hole just to absorb energy, quite honestly. I know they farm down. They could probably have a Thunderbolt. That's fine. And now Pika Libre with 2 shields is going to sweep because it can flying press the Swinub and one-shot that. So I'm coming right away because just getting ahead on energy. And a Woobat comes in. I throw it quickly because although Woobats are doing hard confusions, I was more worried about having an icy wind hit me and lowering my attack, as opposed to them just confusioning me down before I get to this Thunder Punch to basically take them out. or take them out because, baby cups. So Chinchou here. Um, again, look at those sparks. I'm going straight Wild Charge. It is a harder hitting move. It's not a must move. Like Body Slam does sufficient. I know this is just a Bubble Beam, and then it's either going to be Pika Libre or Chinchou. Um, again, I go straight Chinchou. I don't think that's the play, quite honestly. Like Pika Libre would resist these sparks, and now they bait me. So Pika Libre would resist these sparks, and get to the flying press so quickly. So I think that was probably the right move, like coming to Pika Libre, but grab a shield. They did bait me, so this will be a Thunderbolt. But again, now Pika Libre with shield advantage should be more than sufficient. Is Talonflame, so I'm gonna let the second one go through, and I'll go one here and take this out before that damage registers. So goodbye Talonflame, goodbye opponent, 5-0. Now, so I did go 5-0. So I started with a team, I didn't like it. I went to this team and I went 7-1. And here are a couple losses and then after 7-1, I'm like, I'm gonna dominate with this team. And out come a couple core breakers. And I was like, okay, crap. This one's the first one. Cottonee, a grass resisting the electric and a fairy resisting the fighting. As you're going to see here, you can get a shield with that. And flying press from this range is more than enough. So 2 body slams plus like a flying press here, even sparks and bubble beam would be enough after all that chip damage on body slam and everything else. So it's not that it's impossible. It's just a little trickier. In fact, like I now like Pika Libre is gone, but I did manage to get this very low that I have shield advantage. These sparks are adding up. I'm gonna have to shield because Drone will take me out. Oh yeah, it was a freaking Chansey. I remember this match. Spoiler alert, it's a Chansey. So I was like, okay, what is the play here? I'm like, let's bubble beam because I think I can just like come out with energy and take this out. But as you're gonna see here, what ends up happening is they it's so tanky. They live a bunch of thunderbolts. I think it basically takes me to powder snow range of the Sandslash or no, the claw range because it's a claw. And then I'm like, maybe I can live on the claws on double, but I can't. So this one's kind of unlucky. You're like seeing a Chansey just absorbing all that damage. Um, get to the moves here, right? But at this point, it's a little too late. The damage has been done. Like it's chipped me enough that I'm low enough. And I'm like, I don't want to get farmed down here. Come in here. Maybe I can do this. And now I have a move coming out. So kind of unlucky there. But Cottonee is an issue. You can deal with it, but it is an issue. And then the second one coming up here, uh, not not Geodude, but these ground ghost Pokemon. Now I didn't. This is the only team I saw. This is the only team I saw with ground ghost. So what are the odds that a lot of these people are running? A lot of your opponents are running Sandy Geist and what's the baby one there? I'll see when it comes out, but it's the other ground ghost Pokemon with the buff move of like Mud Slap. Um, so like statistically, you won't see a ton of these. Anyways, what is the adjustment to that? I think Cottonee is more realistic than having to worry about these Pokemon. But if you need an answer for all of them, and the Pokemon that I've built that I'm going to start with tomorrow for tomorrow's team is Swinub. Swinub is Golett. And I thought it was Golert, but I was like the baby version. Is Swinub. And what you're going to see here is just how strong it can be. Shadow version, I think, is way better, in particular for this matchup. You'll win the 2v1 shield. So you'll grab a shield here. They'll shield. They'll throw another flying press. But then you can actually just farm down with all this shadow damage. So you'll win the 2v1. You'll come out with a ton of energy for whatever's in the back. So just comes to the farm down. Got it. Got a ton of energy. Uh, and hello, there's a grass. I'm gonna take this out. Um, and you'd be like, okay, yeah, of course you're gonna win when you got two like a grass and a ducklet coming in. But it's just like, trust me, you'll see in my video tomorrow how strong Swinub can be. So that is how I adjusted. It covers your Cottonee weakness and it covers your ground weakness. So if you want to replace double, um, you can replace it there. And the only real weaknesses are like, it's got more weaknesses as like fighting and water. So fighting plus water, yeah, water and fire. So you have more weaknesses with it, but it's a really strong Pokemon. Anyways, that is it. That is the team. So strong start. Definitely up a lot today with the two teams. I realized that I actually don't have a ton of Pokemon for this just because it is a limited typing meta. So I had to be I don't have like I have like a okay roster for Little Cup, but I did not actually have a huge roster overall. So I actually built up a Litleo for it. So I think I have to build up probably a couple more Pokemon to keep running this league. I could go back to Great League, but it was just so fast doing the battles today. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a good holidays. Hopefully this mic and everything worked okay. I'll gonna upload now and do all the stuff I need to do so this goes live tomorrow morning. And that is basically it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.